Once upon a time, there was a small village of peace and harmony. The villagers lived in harmony with nature and with each other. But one day, a mysterious stranger appeared in the village and promised the villagers to find out the truth about peace. But this required the help of our story's protagonist. Our hero is a little boy named Kyle. He grew up in the countryside and have lived while helping on family farm. But Kyle always felt that there was more to her life than farm work. Kyle was one of the first to react when a mysterious stranger walked into the village. The stranger said that the truth of the world was somewhere far away, and that one would have to embark on a long and dangerous journey to find it. He showed Kyle a map that showed the way to the truth. However, the map lacked detail, and Kyle had no idea what to expect along the way. Kyle packed up and left. The first few days were easy. We walked through green fields and pastures where sheep and cows grazed. But the deeper he went into the forest, the more difficult the road. He had to cross the river, but the bridge was destroyed. Kyle was able to swim the river, but lost all his belongings. I also lost his card. He had no choice but to rely on his intuition to continue his journey. Kyle continued his journey, but he grew tired and hungry. One day he came across a cave and decided to go inside to find shelter. He discovers that the cave is filled with various traps. Kyle began exploring the cave and its traps to find a safe path. He went through several rooms with poisonous gas traps, pits with barbed wire, and hidden traps in the floor. Eventually he finds a way out of the cave, but loses a valuable artifact, the dagger his father gave him before leaving. But Kyle didn't give up and continued on his way. He found a new place to face new challenges. He passed a dangerous mountain road where he had to fight a pack of wolves. He had to traverse dense jungle and survive on islands between flooded areas. Everywhere he had to contend with nature and himself. But in the end, Kyle got to where he hoped to find the truth. He finds an old abandoned temple with the inscription, "Here is the truth." Kyle entered the temple and began exploring. He passed through several halls adorned with ancient sculptures and paintings depicting ancient myths and legends. He eventually found a locked room. Kyle tried to open the door, but he wouldn't move. Then he looked for a way to open the door. He went through all the paintings on the walls but found no clues. Kyle took the key and used it to try to open the door. To his surprise, the door opened. When I stepped into the room, I saw a huge altar. A padlocked book was placed on the altar. Kyle tried to unlock it, but she didn't succeed. When he looked at the book, he suddenly noticed that the key image was engraved on the cover of the book, so he began looking. He searched around the room and finally found the key on the floor. He went back to the book and tried to open it. To my surprise, the lock snapped and the book opened. On the first page, he saw a strange symbol that he could not read. He kept flipping through the pages and found a map showing the location of an ancient artifact that had never been discovered before. Kyle realizes he's found the truth he's been searching for all these years. He left the temple and went in search of relics. New difficulties arose along the way, but he was able to overcome them with the knowledge he gained from his books. Eventually, he reached the place where the relic was. It was a small statuette that had been lost for centuries. He picked up the statuette and felt that he had found what he was looking for. He realized that it was more than just a relic. Kyle went home and began examining the statue. He learned that this was the key to great knowledge that had remained hidden from people for centuries. I noticed. Thus ended the story of Kyle finding the truth he'd been searching for all his life. He realized that every difficulty in his path was only a challenge, and that he could overcome any difficulty if he believed in himself. His story has become a legend, and his name has been remembered for many years.